Hey, good evening, friends. It's Carl. Welcome to the bathroom. It's Monday evening. Time for the Monday scrape. I've got to get ready for work tomorrow, and I don't know. Thursday was the last time I shaved, so got quite a bit of growth to get rid of. Anyhow, hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing pretty okay. Just finished a 3 3/4 mile ruck, little lamb chop dinner afterwards for the refuel. Fresh out of the shower. Now let's get cleaned up. So, what are we going to use today? Well, quick, simple Monday night shave. Nothing super fancy, because you guys know me. I'm not super fancy. We're using the Lord Tech. It's got the Darby Extra Sharp third use on there, or Darby Extra, I should say. For the brush, Vanderboss Boar. For the soap, stealing a little of Jimco's Thunder. I watched one of his videos this afternoon, and he's doing kind of a challenge, I think a 10 shave challenge, to see how much soap he can use out of a puck or out of a tube, a canister in his shaves. I think it's for the next 10 shaves, if I remember right. Well, I'm going to hop on that bandwagon, but I'm not going to do quite the same thing. I just want to use this up, and this thing is pretty full. This is Little Tim's Barbershop, Cedar Spice. Local barber, local soap maker, great stuff. I have got too much stuff. I'm just going to start picking something and using it until either I can't stand it anymore or it's gone. Little Tim's is on the using block this period of time. Hopefully, I can use this and finish it up by the end of the year. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a lot of boring shaves, so I don't blame you if you don't tune in. Also, stealing a little bit of Nomio's thunder using the I don't even know what this technique is called. But this is a bentonite, excuse my allergies, but this is a bentonite clay-based soap, so it has to be bloomed or it doesn't lather very well. And I watched a couple of Nomio's videos this past week, and he has been trying this lathering method that he got from somebody else. Dan Varga, maybe? I may be wrong on that. Where you put the water in, seal it up, give it a shake, and then you open it up, and if I'm doing this right, you use the foam and the bloom water to make your lather. So, brush is wet. I'm going to see if I can gather up some of this foam. I need to wet my face, but we'll gather some of this foam onto the brush. And like I said, this thing is full to the brim. I've used it a couple of times. It's a great quality soap. It's got a nice cedary, spicy scent. I really enjoy using Little Tim soaps. This was not my favorite scent of his, but his soaps are fantastic to use. I really like his Christmas scent that he put out a couple of years ago. The Ebenezer, that's probably one of my favorite scents from his. I've used an entire tub of his mahogany and lavender also, and that was great. So we got some on the brush. See what happens here. Wet the face. Like I said, I'm fresh out of the shower, so the beard should be pretty hydrated, but I've been standing here flapping my yap, so we'll see. So we paste it on. There's still probably quite a bit of water in the brush as well. We got a nice thick coat. We'll start working good. All right, maybe I just hadn't used this in so long. This is not the scent I remember it having. I'm actually really digging this scent. So maybe it will be a little more pleasant to use this one up than I had planned. Like I said, I'm not knocking his soap. This, just in my mind, one of the first couple times I used the scent, it was not one of my favorites, but maybe because it's been sitting in the cabinet for so long, or maybe, I don't know, but it's got a different scent profile than I remember, and I'm actually quite enjoying it. So, oh wait, we don't use tap water. We use bloom water. Although I didn't have a lot of bloom water, so I may have to add some tap water because this is very thick. That's a heck of a lather so far. It needs a lot more water though. Anywho, what else can I talk about while I'm taking 50 minutes to lather? It's been a good day. A pretty good day anyway. Pretty typical Monday for me. Woke up around 6 because it's my day off, so I don't wake up and do hero time at 5 o'clock in the morning. Woke up at 6, had a couple of cups of coffee, caught the news, hung out for a little bit, had a virtual doctor's visit with my primary care just to go over lab results. That was weird. That's the first time I've ever done that. All my lab results are good. Unfortunately, not good enough to get me off of any of my current medications like I was hoping last year when we started reducing them. But good enough to keep me from going back on some of them, so that's good enough for me. And we'll keep working and see what we can, maybe we can take some off come November. I felt bad for the doc. He was in the clinic, even though he was in his office, he was still decked out in all his PPE. He had his N95 mask on, and you can tell he's just uncomfortable and tired of wearing that thing all the time. He also, I've been his patient for quite a long time. He's seen me through my cancer and a bunch of other things, and so we're pretty friendly. So he was talking today about, we were just catching up about the coronavirus thing and all that kind of stuff. How it's affecting each one of us in our jobs and whatnot. And he mentioned that recently, I think it was last weekend or something like that, was his mother's birthday. And so he got all his PPE from work, and he got her some PPE. And they gowned her up with the face shield and the gown and the mask and all the stuff. And then he did the same, just so he could give her a hug and wish her happy birthday, which I thought was very sweet. And he told me, he said it's weird that even though it's his mom, it's the first time he's touched somebody else besides the immediate family that lives in his house, his wife and his kids, in 2 or 3 months. And yeah, man, I imagine it's weird, to not, and then we chit-chatted about it, and it's weird not to walk up and shake somebody's hand, and, especially if it's somebody and that you're fond of, or to walk up and give them a hug if you're a hugger. And it's taken some getting used to, and we both kind of joked about how a couple of times we've walked up to people and put out our hands to shake it, and it's like, oh, dang it, I can't do that these days. And just how society's changed, and probably will be forever changed for it, but it was a good visit. I also thought it was pretty cool that he shared that story about getting to hug his mother with me. He's a great doctor. I don't know if I've talked about it before. Nick myself, or is that ingrown hairs? Can't tell. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but when I had cancer, all my care was relegated to my specialist, and essentially I didn't see him at all for a year. But he would call me. This is a sign of how good a doctor he was. He would call me every time that the oncologist would send over some lab results or a scan or whatever. He would give me a call just to touch base and be like, hey, I got your results. This is, how's everything going? And it really kind of endeared me to him even more. He had already been my doctor for quite a long time at that point. But it really, I will not change doctors as long as he's practicing medicine. He will be my primary care physician. And as it is right now, it's a 45-minute drive for me to go see him. His office is in South Austin, and I live up in, one of the northern suburbs of Austin. So to go see him, it's 45 minutes with traffic, depending on traffic. So luckily I didn't have to go see him. One, the coronavirus nonsense is not smart to go sit at a doctor's office anyway, if you can avoid it, so we did the virtual visit. But two, I really didn't want to drive all the way down there. One, because I wasn't really going to get to see him. Just to get lab results for him to say, yeah, keep doing what you're doing, or change some medicine. So, but it was a good visit. What else? That's it, man. I got my weightlifting workout in, did my meal prep, hung around the house for a little bit, got my ruck in, showered up. Now I'm shaving with you guys. Pretty chill day off. Getting ready for work tomorrow. See what the week has for us. It's always something new during these exciting times. Weekend was good. My brother had a little pool party at his place. A kind of belated Mother's Day for my sister. So we got together, had just, some snack food, cold meat sandwiches and whatever. And hung out at the pool, caught up. We hadn't seen each other, any of us, in a couple months, because we've all been on lockdown and been trying to be good. But as Texas starts to open up, because we're being a little bit more aggressive than some states. I think today was week 3 of opening, and gyms and swimming pools and some other, I think, bars opened on Friday, and gyms and swimming pools and stuff opened today. And week before that was restaurants. And so slowly but surely, but faster than a lot of places in the country, Texas is opening up. So I guess we figured, hey, if it's safe enough to get together in small groups in restaurants and whatnot, at swimming pools and gyms, it's safe enough to get together as a family. We've all been pretty well sequestered. I've recently had my COVID test and it's negative, so so everybody felt pretty comfortable. And we were smart about it. I mean, we didn't wear masks because we were sitting around. We spent all our time outside. We were appropriately socially distanced for the most part, in the pool and out of the pool. Sitting around. We swam for a little bit, and then we sat out on the porch and talked, and then we swam a little bit more, and then my sister and her son left, and my brother and I and my brother-in-law hung out for a little bit longer. We went and grabbed some hamburgers, sat inside, we watched a movie, Zombieland 2. It was on one of the cable channels. They had seen it before, I hadn't seen it. And I asked them, they were looking for something to watch, and I was like, hey, you guys said Zombieland was pretty bad, right? And they were like, yeah, it's no good, but it's on, you want to watch it, it's free. And I was like, yeah, if you guys want to watch it, I'll sit and watch it. If you don't want to watch it, no big deal, we'll find something else to do. So they sat and watched it again, and it wasn't terrible, it wasn't great, it was entertaining. It was definitely, if you were a fan of the first one, it's not as good as the first one, but it wasn't as horrible as they made it sound. So it was a good time. And then Saturday was just my standard Saturday. I did cleaning and relaxing and ran a few errands. That's it, man. That's my life. You guys know that. I'm pretty boring. What's not boring is the shave. Third use on the Darby is still very nice. I got this little ingrown hair weeper thing here, but other than that, it's fantastic. The Lord Tech, very mild, easy shaver. The little Tim's Barbershop soap is performing fantastic, and the scent is much different than I remember. It's much more pleasant. Not that it was terrible, like I said, not that it was terrible in the first place, but it is definitely much more pleasant than I remember. And then that lathering method, pretty interesting. Did it make it made a great lather. You guys saw it. Is it something I might try again? I don't know. I might do it in this soap again until it's gone. It seemed to work really well with this benzonoid clay. Benzonoid, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, this clay-based soap, so I may have to do that again. Other than that, got nothing. Stepped on the scale this morning and I was a little bloated. 203 pounds. I had been retaining some water because my diet hasn't been the greatest. Told you guys I've been struggling on the weekends to keep food out of my mouth. bad food particularly. Or not bad food, all food is good. High calorie, salty food. And it's starting to catch up with me, I guess. Last week I was weighing about 195 was the lowest I was, which is the top end of where I want to be. And then after the pizza I ate on Saturday, I said pizza, I ate one whole pizza over the course of the day. So not like it was a huge binge, but I ordered a pizza at around lunchtime, and by the end of the day, the pizza was gone. One large pepperoni pizza, tons of salt, delicious. Unfortunately, it wasn't from a better retailer, but it was from Little Caesars. Not my favorite pizza, but it was cheap, fast, and easy. And it did what I wanted it to do. It tastes like pizza. So we did that. Paid the price for that. And then yesterday at my brother's house, we ate, an antipasti plate and like cold meat sandwiches, lunch meat sandwiches. So that's tons of salt there too. Meats and cheeses, prosciutto and roast beef and roast turkey and roast ham and pepperoni and all that kind of stuff, and chips go with it. And then we had hamburgers for dinner. So I ate a ton of salt over the weekend, so I'm not surprised, especially since my weight wasn't really low going into the weekend. It is what it is. I'll pee most of it off over the course of the week and just get back on the diet. It's like I've said before, as long as you don't quit, you can't fail. And I've kind of gotten to the point where that stuff doesn't freak me out anymore. Like, I know what to do, it's just a matter of doing it, and I'll do it. I'm not disappointed, I don't hate myself or anything like that. Just kind of shocked how fast that stuff can sneak up on you, You work really hard to get it off, and then a month or so of bad weekends, because it's not even during the week, because during the week I'm doing really well, eating really well. But it's those weekends, it's that, Friday night through Sunday night, that's catching up with me. Just too many high calories, bad food choices. This is what it is. Not a big deal though. What was fantastic, it is a big deal, is how nice this shave was. Everything worked beautifully. Let's see what the alum says. A little tingle. Overshaved the mustache. Neck feels pretty good except for that one little spot where that ingrown hair or whatever that is. Cheeks are nice. Yeah, that's a great shave. Fantastic. Everything was beautiful. Hope you guys are doing beautiful. The Lord Tech, Darby Extra, Vanderboss brush, Little Tim's Barber, Cedar Spice. Much nicer than I remember it. I forgot that I used this as the blooming bowl, so soap everywhere. What else is new, right? I think it's funny how when guys in videos nowadays fling soap everywhere, they say, "Oh, I pulled a Carl." I'm like, well, I guess if you're going to be famous, that's not a bad, and YouTube famous, that's something that's not terrible to be famous for. I don't know. We're going to use this Gillette aftershave balm for the post. Fantastic. Outstanding. That's it. That's all. Thank you guys and gals very much for your time. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me watching this video whenever you watch it. Appreciate all your support over the years. Thank you guys for the subs and the comments and all that good stuff. Keep doing what you're doing. Go spend some time with your friends and family, because it's really important no matter what you do. But be smart about it. 6 feet apart. 2 meters if you're in one of those heathen countries that uses the metric system. I got a little grief from a couple people about that statement. That's why I said it again. You guys know I'm only joking. I love you guys. Anyway, be safe out there. Have a great evening. Hope the rest of the week treats you well. And I'll see you next time. God bless. Have a great night.